Hey everyone, it's Congressman Joaquin Castro of San Antonio, and I wanted to give you all an update on what's going on with ICE. We'll talk about what's going on with Liam in just a second, but right now I'm on my way to another detention center in Texas, one of the largest in the country. It's known as the South Texas ICE Processing Center, or STIPC, and this is an adults-only facility. And so Dilley, which is about 15 minutes down the road, is where we were last week, and that has men, women, and children. This is just adults, but we have gotten complaints about, again, lack of access to medical care, about the food, about overcrowding, people not being able to access their attorneys or communicate with their attorneys or their family members when they need to. And so we're going there to inspect the facility and investigate those claims. And of course, we'll update you when we're done. There have been 911 calls over the months that have come from there, of different, very troubling, alarming episodes. And so, we're going to go check it out. Before making this trip, I requested to visit with the Texas National Guard members that Governor Greg Abbott has embedded in these detention centers. So again, to remind you, he has embedded or deployed the Texas National Guard to do deportation work in the detention centers in Texas. So you have hundreds of guardsmen and women who are not allowed to wear their military uniforms, are prohibited from wearing their uniforms. They're forced to go to work in civilian clothing to camouflage as cilians and be part of this deportation work. In fact, they were even forced to work at Dilley, which was keeping Liam Ramos in a trailer prison and also a 2-month-old baby in that trailer prison. And so, part of the reason that matters is a few things. First, those guardsmen and women didn't train for any of that. I don't think anybody who signed up to be in the National Guard thought they were going to be deployed to a detention center. But also, they could be out there when the winter storms were hitting Texas. They could have been out there helping people in North Texas or in other parts of Texas that were getting hit hard. But instead, Greg Abbott has them helping ICE. So when you see those ICE operations out on the streets of Minnesota, or if you see that video, you'll have to check out that video about what happened in San Antonio yesterday, where the ICE agents barged into a house in San Antonio, all U.S. citizens living in the house, and no warrant, and refused to leave, and then assaulted the homeowner, and then finally took off when they realized that it was a house, I guess, of all U.S. citizens. Greg Abbott is part of that. He's supporting it. He agrees with it, and he's enabling it most of all, because by putting the National Guard to do a lot of the back office work and the administrative work, the deportation work in the detention centers, he's purposely freeing up more ICE agents to go and break into people's homes with no warrant, without cause, and obviously in San Antonio yesterday, and what they've been doing in Minnesota. So remember, people blame Donald Trump, but this is as much on Greg Abbott as any other elected official. He's enabling this, and he supports what happened in San Antonio yesterday. And if he doesn't, then he should say something, and he should do something to stop it. We also have the issue of the warehouses. Across the country, ICE is buying these warehouses because they want to ramp up their operations. As bad as it's been, as many constitutional rights as they've broken and violated, they want to make it worse. And so in San Antonio, they just bought on the east side of town a big warehouse, and I think I saw they paid $66 million for it, and they're planning to ramp up their ICE operations. And so the community has spoken up against it. You should continue to speak up. And then we'll talk about this some more after I go through and inspect this facility in Pearsall. But of course, there was millions of Americans and millions of people around the world whose hearts were broken about what happened to Liam Ramos and his dad. They were praying for him. They spoke up. They called ICE, they called their members of Congress, they activated in every way they could, they offered to send money, everything. And a judge last Saturday ordered him released. And then y'all saw that I was able to go to Dilley, and they released Liam and his dad to me, and I escorted them back the next morning to Minnesota. And his mom was overjoyed that she got her son back, and they were glad to be reunited, so excited to be reunited. He was traumatized in Dilley. But now the Trump administration is trying to take him away again. The Department of Justice has filed for expedited deportation, which would take him away again. And so please don't stop speaking up. Do everything that you can, because your voice has made a difference. It is making a difference, and it matters to the lives of these folks. Remember, in Dilley, for example, there isn't a single criminal in Dilley. You can't have a criminal conviction to be there. They don't send you there. So all 1,100 of those people, when Donald Trump talked about quote unquote criminal illegal aliens, there isn't a single person that fits that description over at Dilley. So keep speaking up. It makes a difference and it matters. And I'll let you know how this thing goes here in a bit.